This is Minecraft Skyblock, but probably not the one you're used to. In this world, we are given a single tree on our small starter island and expected to progress from there. Using our Minecraft knowledge, we'll have to figure out ways to gradually get more blocks and get further into the game. I'm the main Nix, and welcome to the challenge. This is episode 2.
And we are back in Minecraft Skyblock. It took a little bit of time between episodes to make sure we had plenty of wood for our journey up ahead, because we're going to be bridging out pretty far from this island to actually make progress going on. And one thing about that is while doing all of this, I managed to get some quite lucky things. Previously, we used an Enderman to pick up this grass block, but if any of you have noticed in my hotbar, I actually got an iron shovel, and it has Silk Touch on it. I happened to get the achievement easier than Enderman. It says get a Silk Touch tool so you can move grass blocks easier. So while we were lucky enough to get that grass block beforehand, we actually don't need that now. It'll make it easier when we need to pick up more grass blocks for later. But yeah, that's not too much of a concern, but it is nice that there are different achievements out there. But with that in mind, like I said, I grinded a ton of wood for us, so we should be all set. Also see I got a ton of armor somehow. Finally, the mobs are getting probably strong enough that I can actually pick at armor from them. Hence why we're getting actual tools. But now our goal is going to be picking up most of this. Probably not right now. I don't want to lose it in the void, obviously. But picking up stuff from here and taking it out south. Now, one thing to keep in mind is we're not going to get rid of this island entirely. Now, while I don't want to spend a lot of time here because we are in a desert and I am going to build further south, we still want to keep an island here because this is our spawn. At some point, we're going to end up killing the Ender Dragon, and it's going to drop us back off at our bed, but if our bed is obstructed or something, it might drop us off here. And I don't really want to deal with that. So pretty much I just want to make sure this island is still somewhat here, but we'll be taking the pieces of it as we go. Now we need to head south to actually reach where the savannah is, but what I'm thinking is we actually bridge out east and then bridge straight south to actually get to where the savannah is. That way when we build our long path in the future to reach those other landmarks I talked about previously, like the big mushroom field up north, as well as the jungle and some witches up north, we just have a continuous long path, which eventually I'm hoping we can actually make it maybe into like an ice boat path, since we are traveling very far distances. It'll speed up time since we don't have any access to the nether anytime soon. So I marked it out. We're going to head out to, I think it's negative 590. I'm going to make sure before I start going out about it, but I think it's negative 590 east. And then just keep heading south and we should end up hitting it. So yeah, let's get to it. If you are undertaking this challenge, I highly recommend Tweakaroo. I'm currently using their permanent sneak function so that I don't have to worry about hurting my pinky during this. But also the mod has the feature of restocking your hand, so that instead of me having to constantly update my hand and put more stuff in it, it'll just keep refilling this. So if once the stack of slabs would end, it would automatically just put a new stack in my hand to help me get through this grind faster. Now I'm not using it at the moment because I don't really want to work with that. I'm trying to make sure I'm checking my coordinates constantly, verifying I'm getting to the right location. But for long treks like this, like when we probably head north towards the mushroom field way out there, that's going to be a really nice feature to have. I also highly recommend getting used to diagonally building. It sounds a little bit weird, but if you sit on the edge, obviously I'm using permanent sneak, so this makes it a little bit safer, and then just right click, you actually go a little bit faster. It's something that I've noticed some people know and others don't. It's more of a Java thing, and Bedrock you have way easier bridging. But this goes just a tiny bit faster than if you were to go like straight backwards like this. If you have one person building diagonally like this and one person building straight back, you'll notice the diagonal is a little bit faster. Obviously, when you're just by yourself, it's not as obvious, but something if you want to actually save a little bit of time. And here we are. It's honestly not that far away from our main island, so now we just head south. Make sure we're going the right direction, and let's go. Okay, I'm surprised it actually didn't take us that long. We are actually in the savanna biome right now. On the chunk-based map, you can see we're actually on this little edge of the savanna right here. So now we just need to figure out, this is where we're going to stay. and how exactly I want to do this. I spent a little bit of time thinking about this, but I'm still not entirely sure. My whole goal was we build a mob farm around here, and then we have the passive mobs spawning right around here in the savannah so we can get actual mobs like pigs, cows, and sheep. And ideally, donkeys should be able to spawn here as well. And if we get one, we'll be able to travel much faster along these paths and bring more materials. Hopefully, I'll make it bigger than a one ride. This is kind of terrifying for me at the moment, but we had to get out of here somehow. So with that in mind, I do want to take a look at what we're in right now, because we're in the river. And I'm trying to think of if we have like our passive mob farm over there, I need to be a certain distance away for them to spawn. And if I'm going to be sitting at a mob farm, maybe we have the mob farm kind of out here, because then that'll give them... I'll have to count it to be more specific, but we have to give them space so that they have a chance to spawn over there. We'll have our mob farm here. I'll build it up in the world so that the mobs will spawn up there and fall down and be one-hit kills. And I think that'll work out. I'm just trying to debate of, do we keep everything in the savannah so that we're just all together? Or do we just have the passive mob farm in the savannah and then have our hostile mob farm maybe somewhere else, like in this river? That's going to be something to work on. I also need to check around if there are slime chunks nearby now. Mini Hut has this feature, and I believe I bound it too. There we go. So we're actually, let me pull up free cam. We're actually in like a pretty decent non-slime chunk area right where I am. Or do we want to build up here maybe? My thought is we need to build an area for wandering traders to spawn. And if we light up the area, that'll prevent all the hostile mobs from spawning. But slimes don't care about light levels. So if we build a flat platform and put lights all over it, they'll just spawn in like those chunks over there. But luckily with this big area right around here, if I kind of situate myself in the middle of it, we could actually kind of spread out and make a decently sized platform and hopefully get some actual wandering traders to spawn while we do it. So that would be something interesting to think about. If we do that, I think this would be about like the center point we need to be in. There are a few chunks away from that, a few chunks away from that. And we have these nice kind of long runways we can work on. So we may end up having like the passive mob farm between those two slime chunks over there. But yeah, that's something to consider. For now, I'm just going to build a little bit of a platform here for my safety, because I don't like being on this tiny little platform like this. So let's just make this a little bit bigger. This is where I'm assuming we're going to build. So let's just make it wider so I feel a bit safe. And we need to go back and actually get the stuff we had at our starting platform. But I don't really want to be running around with all of this wood on me. So let's put some of it down. And yeah, it's going to be a bit of time for me to run back and forth. I wonder if I should make the platform a little bit wider just so I feel a little bit safer on it. It's the struggle of early game Skyblock. You want to save your resources, but you don't want to deal with the hecticness of running along on a single wide path. I mean, at this point, we probably could get away with it. I think I used like 3 stacks of slabs, so maybe we'll do that just for my own peace of mind. I had plenty of wood. So yeah, now I just need to transfer all that stuff from our starting island over to here, and then we can actually start progressing in this. It's going to be interesting. We're going to have to see how this goes. But yeah, I think building our mob farm right around here-ish should work out. Or put our passive mob farm right behind me between those 2 slime chunks. And yeah, this will be where we're kind of going to spend a lot of our time for the next bit, until we can actually get enough iron that we're able to get water finally. But that's going to be its own journey in itself, but got to start somewhere. So let's get started. And there we go. We actually have our full 2-way platform all the way from our starting island all the way over into the distance. So luckily that's good. That'll make it a little bit safer for me to run on this now. I'm still going to be a little bit terrified, but that's okay. Now we just got to get up here and fill our pockets with as much stuff as we can carry to our new area. Now I did build this big platform underneath our dirt. So luckily we shouldn't lose any of our dirt into the void. But just in case, I'm always a little paranoid about this, so... First things first, let's make sure we're in our bed. The last thing we need is a phantom spawning now. And now we just need to pick up as much of this dirt as we think we actually need. I'm not sure. I'm thinking we leave some of it just in case I accidentally fall into the void so we don't have all of our dirt disappear with us. But yeah, it's gonna be a bit of an issue getting all this up. Okay, I picked up 42 pieces of our dirt. I still left a good chunk. I left us some grass in case fall into the void. Left us some trees, and there's some potatoes and wheat here so that in case something bad happens, we still have a decent start to recover from, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, ideally we don't fall into the void, but you know, you can never know with those things. Sometimes you just have issues, and I don't want to deal with that. So with that in mind, I'm still going to leave some stuff here. I think that's it. We can leave some of this. It's not going to hurt sitting here. And yeah, if we'll take you as well. And yeah, let's, oh good, this is an Enderman. And which, this is of course, this is what happens when you're trying to move. Stuff spawns, then you get terrified that they're going to take your dirt blocks away. So, now I got to deal with this. Well, luckily there's no fiasco. They just managed to despawn on me. But now I feel like I need to deal with this. I swear, just trying to make any progress in this game. I probably should end up lighting up my platform up here, just so in the future I don't come back to there being mobs if I accidentally fall in the void. Just because I feel like that would be a bad time of spawning at night, trying to recover, and then having an Enderman spawn on me or something. Ooh, there you go. He actually gave us some glass bottles. That'd be great. Once we actually get to having water, we can use that to our advantage. Actually, I have plenty of redstone, so we'll just make, let's see, 2 torches. That's probably enough to cover that platform. I could tear it down, but for now I don't really want to spend too much time working on this. I just want to make it safe enough so that when I come back, if I ever have to come back here, we don't gotta worry about this. So let me turn on, this is Mini HUD's light level overlay, and if I place that torch there, yeah, that does a good job. And yeah, so they're all lit up, so nothing should spawn here now, outside of possibly wandering traders, that is. It might still be too close for wandering traders, but that makes that nice and safe. We don't have to worry about any mobs being over there, and we can actually now move. Oh, we actually got the sugar. I didn't even notice. We can actually now move over to our new area. Now that we got here, we just dump all of this stuff in this chest, make sure it's nice and safe, and so far so good. We've actually made it here with everything safe in our chest, and yeah, we're gonna have to actually now start work on making the actual mob farm, and then possibly figuring out where we're gonna put our passive mob farm. But that'll be easy, right? But luckily we have all of this space. I'm still gonna go with bottom slabs for the time being, just so that I know this area is safe, because we only really have so much redstone to make our platforms with, and the light level on them is not good. And it's going to take way too many pieces of redstone to be able to do that. So for now, like I said, we're just going to stick with bottom slabs, and then as we go along, we'll eventually upgrade these to top slabs so that we can actually have our wandering trader spawn on them. But until we have like glowstone, I don't want to deal with lighting this up with redstone. Or if we got a lot of redstone, if we set up a witch farm at a witch hut, we could maybe use it then. But at that point, you're going to get glowstone from the witch hut as well. So, you know, we'll probably just stick with the glowstone. But that's bridging in the opposite direction. We need to work on iron first. But yeah, let's get started. Let's work towards this. Well, it's not much, but we got our little platform for our passive mobs to spawn. I'm hoping we can move them down onto this area, put them in some boats or something so that we can use this tiny platform. Because I don't want to use too much of our dirt into this, but at least it's something for now. Maybe we'll get some while we work on building this mob farm over here. I raised it up a little bit. I'm hoping to have the mobs fall onto this platform from above, and then it will give me the ability to put hoppers underneath once we get to that point. If we stay with this design, I'm not sure. Once we get water, we can actually progress a bit further and make a better mob farm design. But for the moment, I'm going to work on a pathing based one, which is going to be letting the mobs like move towards a solid block and go from there. But with that, we actually have to make a ton of stairs, which are not very wood efficient, but that's all we have at the moment. And also we're going to have to just build all the way up. So I'm going to try to come up with a design that allows me to easily get up and down. So we're probably going to have to make a bunch of ladders so we can get up and down easily. But that way, when I want to eventually dismantle that, we'll have a way to get up and take everything down until we get back down here. I also want to add in an ability to take mobs out of here, because sooner or later we're going to need to get a zombie villager to make our villager farm, and that's going to be a while out. We don't have any of the things we need to get. Oak saplings first, and gold, and a whole bunch of other stuff, so it's going to be a while before we even get to that part. If I can actually find a zombie villager while we're doing this part that like holds an object, so I don't have to worry about it, I can just hold it off to the side and let it sit there. And yeah, it'll cut into our mob cap for a little bit, but then we'll have that when we actually progress further in this. So yeah, I'm going to work on this. Before we get too far into this, I'm going to put down, I want to get a flat platform like this. We're at the lowest part of the world possible. We're at 63.5, so we can't put blocks any lower. But I want to get a flat platform like this, and then we'll start putting our trees on it, because I don't want to have to deal with catching the dirt when it's that low to the ground. So we're just going to have it on top of this right here, and it'll be decently low. We can build ladders or some steps to get up so we can chop down these trees, but we're definitely going to need a lot more wood for future projects, at least until we can get more types of blocks. Right now we're stuck with wood, and we could use bone blocks supposedly if we get enough of them, but it's going to be a bit before we get there. So let's just work with what we got. And wood is actually really nice. We don't have to worry about breaking it. I don't need a tool to actually pick it up or move it if I decide I don't like what I've done, so it works out as we are right now. So, and we're going to be spending a lot of time in this area anyway, so if I just put a decently large platform down, we can put some trees, and then eventually I want to transform this into our temp wandering villager platform, but we don't have any lights at the moment, so we'll just work on the trees for now, and then as we get more witch drops and stuff, we can actually like make this way better. There you go. Not much, just a little bit, just to get a little bit of wood going. We are going to need to break out our saplings and get these. And yeah, I'm probably going to have to put up ladders or something to get to these, because that little bit of height on them that the slab is adding is a bit of a issue getting to. But you know, we could probably just like take this out, maybe do that. I don't know. We'll figure that out. We'll deal with that later. But yeah, so now we're on to the next issue, which is building this thing. And luckily it shouldn't be too difficult. I built them before in the past, but it's more just the getting started is the part I always struggle with a bit, because it's just the premise of thinking ahead about what I want to do. So like eventually I want to have, we're going to have our character standing here, and we're going to have this be kind of like that, so that we can swipe at their feet, but they can't see us, so that'll be good. But I want to have this where I can put a trapdoor, there we go, and be able to open it from the outside pretty easily. So I think that'll work. And then we'll do another one here. I'll probably have to put this here and do this, and then we can put another trapdoor here. And that way from the outside, we should be able to see them. Obviously this will have to be enclosed a bit, but so with this design, I should be able to see in and open and close these trapdoors so that we can move the mobs from our drop shaft into the holding tank. I remember having the mobs in the farm seeing me from here. So maybe we do something kind of like this so that once we're past it, they won't see us. I don't know. That's just the kind of design I have at the moment. I should probably put a railing behind it, knowing that mobs tend to have thorns at a certain point in the game. And the last thing we need is getting... Oh no, this is not going to work. Yeah, so we probably need to have... I need to have just a small step here. And then if I put a ladder here. Yeah. Well, let us get these trees. Mob pathfinding farms are not new. I've seen them before. I believe the one I originally saw was from El Mango many years ago. So this isn't exactly a new concept, but the concept I'm trying to get is getting enough of an area so that we can kill all the mobs easily, but also be able to take them out of this design for when we want to have zombie villagers and stuff like that. So again, it's a little crazy. It'll make more sense once we actually build it. So let me get working on that, and I will get back to you guys once we have a little bit more of a design to talk about. Okay, so here's my premise at the moment. What I see is this is going to be where the mobs fall in, and they'll come down here and we can swipe at their feet from here. But I also have this side load chamber that once I open it up and don't actually place blocks in the way, this will allow them to funnel out this way, and I can still swipe at their feet from here. But when I want to like sort out the zombie villager from like the creepers and skeletons, it allows me to get a little bit more accuracy with it, and then we can close this from the outside through these little holes here, so that I don't have to like risk getting in here to get them sorted out, and it should allow me to keep them separate from everything. And then hopefully with these doors down, no mobs will just wander over into this area, so it should keep us relatively safe. That's kind of the premise at the moment. Again, this is just like me kind of playing around with the design. I don't know how good it's been. This is what I normally use, and normally there's some issue halfway through that I forget about, but it tends to work more or less. Again, I want to add a railing to this just so that we are safe. But yeah, that's kind of the premise, and now our whole goal is we just have to go up. We just have to build this up so that these get to our mobs to about one hit kills. They don't have to be perfectly one hit. They're going to eventually have thorns, armor, and stuff anyway, plus like witches are going to spawn here, and they're not going to be one hit kills anyway. So we have a lot of stuff we got to do, but we just got to go up and then build this platform out a little bit. I am going to do something a little bit different than like a standard mob farm, but we have to get up there first before I get to that point. So let me just work on this and we'll see how it works. So far so good. We're up here. I got the drop shaft worked out, so all of our mobs should group up here and then fall down way down there, and we're doing good so far. I did forget the ladders the first time, so I had to bridge back down to pick them up and put them back up, but now we have a way up and down from here. Now the next part is we need to do some way to lure the mobs to fall here, because they're not just going to naturally want to fall into this little shaft, but what I'm hoping is what we can do is pathfinding. Now, mobs like to walk towards solid blocks. And so I've built, if you take a look at this entire thing, I've built it out of stairs. Stairs are not solid blocks, so the mobs don't want to pathfind to these. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this center bit here and fill it full of full blocks so that the mobs will want to walk towards them. And then on these outer edges, we're going to leave like another thing made of stairs and slabs, and they're going to want to wander it. Now, generally in the past when I've seen mob farms like this, they only have like one or two little platforms where the mobs spawn because they're trying to utilize it. Now, what I'm wondering if we can do is actually make one big solid block like right behind me, and then have two wings. Have one wing there and one wing over there with like 2 or 3 floors on each side so that the mobs can spawn there. That should give us more spawning platforms, and hopefully that'll work out. That's what my plan is. I did bring up some hay bales because we're going to be dropping the mobs. We measured this out. This is about 20, I think it was 22 blocks, maybe 21. I don't remember exactly. But because it's exactly like fall height, we don't want to get the mobs taking fall damage falling from the 2nd or 3rd floor of this thing. So what I'm hoping is if I put a hay bale here, the mobs will then use the trick with the trapdoors. So fall on the hay bale, that should absorb a lot of the fall damage. Now granted, they're not going to take much fall damage. It's like a 4-block drop, if that. But still, it should prevent them from actually losing any health in the first place. so that when they get pushed along as more and more mobs fall into this shaft, they'll get pushed into this drop chute, and then we'll be able... Now, obviously, this kind of... I don't know if having this many slabs is too much. Like, how many mobs is it going to take before they get pushed out of this? But again, this is me just trying to, like, figure out this design. Again, I just want to try this. I think it might work out better, because sometimes I don't reach the full mob camp with the normal pathfinding mob farms, but we'll see if this works. That's just my thought at the moment. So once I build up more of the actual floors, you can see what the design I have in mind. Building these marble farms is always a little bit dangerous. This tends to be something I always forget whenever I'm doing them. And this time it happens to be this one singular block that I left down here. Oh, and look, we're starting to get them spawning down here. So we're definitely going to have to put a light down here. Whatever. Hopefully, once the light comes out, maybe they'll be able to be lured away from there. But yeah, we're starting to get into issues with darkness finally. So something we're going to have to think about in the future before we do too much more of this. But yeah, I got a little bit of this set up at the moment. We have our first floor, and I'm right now just doing the walls to get that finished. But yeah, I noticed the creeper when I was doing that, and now there's the skeletons down there. They're going to make this a little bit harder. I always forget to bring a bow with me. I don't know why. I think it's just because it's Skyblock, and you never really expect to need to fight off mobs randomly throughout the night. I was expecting them to spawn up here, like on this platform that I'm standing on, or over in there. I never really think about below me, but look, I lit up the grass block we had over there, but I didn't think about these. I guess that's going to be something we're going to have to work on, but luckily it's almost daytime, so hopefully we can deal with that. Hopefully, maybe they'll just wander around and get into the light, hopefully. If not, yeah, that's gonna be an interesting thing we're gonna have to deal with, especially with this rain. Now, luckily we are in a nice rainy area for later. We're gonna need the rain later, but for now, it's not really helping us with this fiasco. Well, luckily me ignoring the issue caused a few of them to despawn. We still gotta deal with this creeper. I might just head down there and try to deal with him soon, just because I don't want to get too much more into building and then have him explode. But yeah, I mean, he's in like the worst spot possible. He's right next to my ladder. I might be able to like get halfway down the ladder and then jump, and we'll take some damage, but we can at least get further away from where he is. Hopefully that'll work, because I don't think he's going to despawn anytime soon. And luckily that's an easy fix. Just putting down a slab on top of that spot should be fairly easy. Before I do that, I'm going to make us a quick chest. We'll just store this stuff up here. And yeah, let's see if we can deal with this issue. Luckily the skeletons and the zombie despawn, so we don't have to deal with them, but trying to not set him off is gonna be an issue. Okay, a little bit of damage. Oh, okay. Okay, he went for a wander, even better. I didn't bring a block with me. It's fine. Where is he? Hi. It's the issue I always have with... There you go. Come over here. Perfect. Now I get to run. Okay. Okay. Better. Better. How are we going to deal with this? Probably should have thought about that before I came down here. We got this. Oh, okay. He didn't blow up anything. Manageable. Okay. We survived. We're doing good. Okay. Now, we just gotta fix that and add some torches to this area. So we'll put some redstone torches on the sides of each one. That'll be fine. That'll keep this area safe. And that's a simple solution for this. There you go. Perfect. And then we just need to get a few slabs to fill this in. And remember to fill in the hole up ahead, and no problem, easily taken care of. Easy to forget simple little things like this, because in Skyblock, yeah, if you leave a single block, they will find a way to spawn there. Don't worry about it. Now I'm curious. Luckily, the sun is out, so yeah, nothing spawned up here while I went down. That was my next concern about going down in the rain, is that as I got to the bottom, there would be more mobs up there once we got up there. But yeah, so far so good. No hassles, no issues. And yeah, now we just gotta fill out these platforms and hopefully get the actual mob farm going. Let's get back to it. Well, it's not done yet, but it clearly seems to be working. I came down to get some more wood because we were running into things, and oh, yep, yeah, it's clearly working. Unfortunately, this middle part is not where the mobs are supposed to be, but yeah, that's always the issue you run if you leave a mob farm project midnight. So yeah, let's take care of that before that becomes an issue. Uh-oh, I heard him. Where is he? Okay. Hi, I see you. Do I not have a boat? Did I not bring the boat? Hi. There's two of you. Oh, no. Give me this. I need boats. I'm just gonna get 2 boats so I can corral them quickly before they start taking my blocks. Hi. Can you get in the boat? Nope, I don't want to be in the boat. I want you in the boat. There you go. Okay, you're in the boat. Ah! And skeleton escaped. Okay. Fine. Manageable. This spider up there. I see him. Other Enderman, where did you go? Oh, no, let's see. Did he go up here? Okay, he didn't go up here. Okay, he's over there. We gotta go deal with him before he picks up one of my grass blocks. There we go. Okay. Managed. More or less. I'll probably just end up wandering down our path a bit to unload all those mobs, but yeah, it's another thing I forget about when building mob farms is you can't really leave the area without them doing that, so. But so far it's working. I'm happy to see that. I didn't go up high enough. They're falling 21.5 blocks from my count. I should have gone up another block, but I thought I had counted properly, but apparently not. But it's not going to be too much of an issue. We're going to be using a sword anyway to kill them, but let me run away, get them to despawn, and we can get back to building. But yeah, making sure you have enough materials whenever you start a mob farm project is very important. I didn't bring up all the wood, figuring I probably wouldn't need it all, but yeah, I definitely needed to take advantage of all that wood I had gathered previously. This is one of those tasks that you always forget about how much it actually takes until you do it a second time, so let's just take all the wood that we have, make sure we are safe, and yeah, we'll get back to it. Well, plenty of free resources from this, and yeah, like I said, it seems that our system is working. They are falling down from here and getting into the drop shaft, so that is a good sign. Now we just need to actually enclose this so we don't have this fiasco again. And remembering to put slabs on top of this so that they don't spawn up here. But yeah, really easy fixes. Again, I'm midway through projects, so can't really deal with unexpected issues like that. But so far so good, so let's get back to it. build. Hopefully I did this correctly. Haven't had any more fiascos after that last one, but we definitely have been hearing the mobs spawning on the other side of the chamber. Yeah, you can see this already. We're getting a lot of mobs dropping in so far. Now, not as many zombies as I was hoping for. We are in a river biome, so they have the same amount of likelihood to spawn here as another. But you see we get a lot of creepers for some reason. I don't know if it's just the timing I happen to look into this, that's what we're getting. Oh, look, we already have a zombie villager. Well, maybe once he gets down there, we can take him out. But yeah, it's working so far, and everything up here is bottom slab, so nothing should be spawning. If we turn on light levels, you can see nothing shows up, but like if I put the crafting bench down, it shows up on top of that. So, and also the fact the crafting bench is hovering helps prove it's bottom slabs. We also have this nice ladder that'll allow us to get up and down here if we ever need to fix something. So yeah, let's go down and let's see how it's working. Because when we're up there, it actually doesn't spawn as efficiently as once we're down here. And here come all mob sounds. Okay, hold on. Hold on, Gabe, got it. Let's change our anchor to around here. Yeah, there we go. So much better. Moving our mob grinder sound from previously where it was to here instantly made that so much better. There we go. And now we just see, oh, we're already getting more iron. Second piece of iron already acquired. This is exactly what we were hoping for. And yeah, it didn't take too long to build. I'm a little bit trapped in here, but it didn't take us too long to build. We just had to do a little bit of maintenance. Once I got this area down here lit up with these torches, that worked out nicely. It's still not enough light for them to grow during the night, which is a little bit annoying. Once we get some glowstone, we'll put like 1 or 2 pieces, probably a piece underneath them, and that should allow them to grow at night. But yeah, so far so good. And luckily we're in a nice rainy area, because that's going to be what we have to deal with next. Is we still need to get more iron, but once we get enough iron for a cauldron, we can actually progress and try to get water. It's going to be the next long grind of waiting until we get enough pieces to make the cauldron, and then waiting for the cauldron to fill up with rain, which it's going to be a pain, but I mean, what else are we going to do? We're waiting for the passive mobs to spawn back over there. And yeah, if we just sit around here and get this working, it should be fine. So yeah, I'm going to spend a little bit of time hacking away at the mobs here and see what we can get from this. This is an interesting way to see this. So it seems to be working. The mobs jump trying to get through the trapdoors and slowly push each other into the drop shaft. It's not exactly efficient. You can see a lot of the mobs are getting backed up here. But if we do, is it log mob caps? Yeah. We can see, yeah, we're hitting mob cap, no problem. The 70 at the beginning of the thing shows us that we're actually hitting the mob cap. And it seems to be working so far so good. Again, I only did 2 platforms. I was a little bit concerned if I went too far above their pathing won't work. It's like 32 blocks away from the player. Allows them to pathfind, but we're kind of pushing that as we're at this divine right now, so it's not too bad. And yeah, this whole thing, we still haven't seen any passive mobs spawn over there. Now it should be lit up enough. No hostile mobs should be able to spawn over here, but there's grass, there's a little bit of room. I might end up making more of a space. I tried to give a little bit of space around it, so if a mob spawned here and accidentally fell off, they wouldn't fall into the void, but I haven't even seen a single mob spawn over here yet, so it might just be that I'm too far away from them and they haven't spawned, but it's also passive mobs take a very long time to spawn anyway, and there's none in our world. If we look at the log for mob camps, that second fraction is the passive mobs. And while we're capped at 10, we don't even have a single passive mob yet, so that's not the issue. It's just waiting. It's just a lot of waiting. But again, not a concern. It's Skyblock. We're used to waiting. We're used to doing grindy things, so easy to deal with. So yeah, let's get back over here. We'll spend a little bit of time hacking away at the mobs and see if we get any good ones. Ooh, is that a zombie villager? This is one thing. If you are not a person that uses the show subtitles, it's really nice if you are trying to see what kind of mobs you have in your mob spawn. Now, a lot of these looks like zombies, creepers. If I hit them, yeah, I don't see any zombie villager hurt sound. So we probably aren't getting anything useful in this, but yeah, I'm just going to keep whacking away at these until I start seeing zombie villager hurt, and then we can I can show you how this other part of this farm works. And here we go. There's a zombie villager. He's kind of hidden behind, there you go. He's kind of hidden behind these enemies right now. But yeah, so what we can do is we can open these trapdoors. I got to click a little bit better. And that should spread out the mobs. They'll move over into this platform. And hopefully we should be able, obviously he's not exactly moving over right now, but as more mobs fall into the thing, they should shift over. And maybe we should get ourselves an axe so we can be a little bit more strategic with our kills at the moment. So let's see. Well, he's not in this area, so we can actually use a big swipe. And yeah, now more mobs should filter in. I still don't see him, so we'll just big swipe. And this allows us to like just kind of, there we go. So now he's showed up. Now we'll see if, can I actually get this closed? Okay. So we can close it because now we know we've got him in this area. And now we just got to separate him from the rest of these mobs. Okay, got a lot of them separated. Now we just got to take out the extra ones. Be careful. Can't tell if he's holding anything from this angle, so we're going to have to be a bit careful with that. Is he going to pick up the pants? Okay, he didn't pick up the pants, so most likely he won't actually hold anything. So this guy probably is not that useful to us. We'll do a little bit of free cam to see. Yeah, he's not holding anything, so unfortunately he will despawn. But yeah, we can use that as a way to get zombie villagers separated from the rest of the thing. And obviously, like I said, this guy's going to despawn, so we don't need him. But for the other mobs, if we get one that actually can hold items, that'll be a great way to get him out of that drop shaft and into an area where I can actually like utilize him. Because we could wait for this task later on once we actually are able to cure villagers. But it's nice also kind of just getting it started. We're growing trees or we're waiting on past mobs, so we got a lot of stuff going on. Adding one more task like do you hold items for a zombie is really not that much of a concern. But yeah, so far so good. We got a few more pieces of iron. We're so close. I think I took all of them out of here. Yeah. So all of our mob drops are over here now. We're up to 4 already. We've been going, I haven't even been at this that long. Oop, and there's thorns. I may want to put a gate behind me so I can't get pushed off when that happens again. Do we have so many, we get so many random broken bows and none of them are enchanted, so let's just toss some of these. But yeah, so many mobs, so many drops, so many things. And can I just like put that, I don't know if I want that closer or not. I want to be like decently close so that, yes, like if I can pick up the items they have, but I don't want to be so close that I'm getting hit by the mobs potentially. But yeah, ooh, there we go. We got a carrot before. We got a second one. So yeah, we're getting actually the rare drops. We haven't gotten one haven't gotten too many iron ingots yet, but it's working. Ooh, I saw another zombie villager. Did he live? Did I kill him? I think I got rid of him. Darn. But that's fine. Again, we keep going until we see the next one. Oh, there we go. We got another potato. See, this is working out very nice. We're really early on, but like we're getting all of the things we're going to need. I should end up setting up an area to actually farm crops. I didn't think about that. I just kind of set up our original area when we got here just to kind of put stuff down. But yeah, let me shift this stuff over a bit. And this area seems to be getting decently rained on. So let's just put our farm over here. Let's make sure we keep this covered so we don't have that fiasco again. We've got 14 pieces of dirt. It's going to be just kind of a mediocre farm for the time being, but that's what we had previously, and it was working fine, so not a problem. And then we could just add some stairs. So let's see, just something simple like that. And then, yeah, do we have our hoe? We still have our hoe from the previous time. I didn't bring any of the carrots or the potatoes. We'll grab a carrot. Let's grab the potato. We have other potatoes, but we'll grab these for now. And yeah, let's just put these down. We'll get our wheat seeds back out. Get plenty of wheat seeds, but that'll be fine. And yeah, simple little farm for right now. Should get more potatoes going. Planting them in rows like this normally makes crops go faster, but since they aren't watered, I don't know if it's going to help too much. Generally, when I make a normal farm, I try to keep rows like this so that it does speed up their growth, but for now, I don't want to leave these spots empty. We'll put down more potatoes and fill it in with seeds, and yeah, that'll work for now. But yeah, we also have been getting some pieces of armor. Now, they're not that great quality because they're mostly dying already, but especially if I'm dealing with thorns occasionally, it's nice just to have a bit of armor so you don't take as much damage while we're doing this. There we go. It's like, where's my big swipe? Come on. You want to give me some glowstone? We could use it. Come on. You want to be nice to me. Yeah! Okay, is that enough? 2 glowstone. Perfect. We can make our first glowstone block. And that'll really help out. I wonder if we can put it in the middle here. If I put it like 3 up in the air, that way I don't get hit by it. I'm trying to keep this area open since it's like our path at the moment. We could easily put a few blocks here. Let me grab some blocks. Let me grab some ladders. And if I do like, I don't know, maybe something like that. We'll climb up a bit, maybe 1 more. And we put our glowstone block on that. That should give us enough lighting. Let's see. Let's turn on our lighting overlay. And 7. You're 7. Okay, that might not be good, but we'll deal with that for now. I think when I did my testing, you needed like light level like 10 or something for trees to grow at night. So that'll be fine for just preventing mobs from spawning at the moment. Which again, not ideal. Would be better if it actually made these trees grow faster, but I wonder, do you think we'll get lucky if I break it? Sometimes when you break it, you get the full amount back. Sometimes not. We got the full amount back. Perfect. Let's move it over. If we put it closer to these 2, maybe if I move it a little bit lower, because it's no longer in our path, so that gives you level 12. That gives you 12. So maybe that'll be better. It'll at least get these 2 trees to grow for us. And then we'll have something that's growing during the night as opposed to having them just lit up with no benefit to us really. But yeah, we can take these torches down. We don't need these anymore. And yeah, so far so good. We're making progress. We're actually getting blocks finally. We'll be able to light this place up in no time. Well, I think I figured why our passive farm was not working. So when I built this, I was staring at wondering why we're about 24 blocks away. It should be working, but for some reason it wasn't. So then I took a second and loaded the biome border, and you can see previously I had our grass over in that area. You can see this is savanna because of the coloring of the grass, but when it was over here, this is a river biome. So I guess when I was building out the platform, I just wasn't paying attention. I was supposed to build on this side of the platform, and I just kept building, not noticing it was river. So yeah, now that we've moved this over here, hopefully that should solve our issues of why we're not getting any passive mobs. But yeah, that took me way too long to notice. I looked at it and wondered why the grass was so green, but didn't really go to check. Now that we changed it, hopefully they'll start spawning. Also, you can see in the distance already, I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. But we actually got enough iron to make ourselves our cauldron. And when we did, we get the achievement, Please Rain, which is craft a cauldron to catch rain, because that is what we need to do now. We need to get the rain to fill up this cauldron finally, and once we do that, we need to get ourselves more iron from these zombies, which would hope I didn't let them just passively die. But we need to make buckets, and oh, another zombie villager. Well, let's take this guy out. Let's pop this open. See if we can lure him out. And yeah, let's get him over here. Hopefully I didn't hit him. We'll find out. Not looking good. I think I might have accidentally hit him while trying to clear out this area, but that's okay. It'll be fine. We'll get more. So it's not much of a concern if that happens, but yeah, so far this has been working out fairly well. I suppose I should actually, well, I don't really need to keep the witch. We've been getting witches pretty regularly, but we will need a witch later on to actually cure the villagers. Because we don't have any means of getting weakness potions yet. There's a trick with witches where if you stand a certain amount of distance away from them, they'll throw like a poison potion, and then after that they have a chance of throwing a weakness potion. And that's going to be the only way we're going to be able to get weakness for a while. Oh, there we go. We got another zombie villager. Let's see if we can bring him over. Let's see if we can lure him over here. Creeper, can you... Baby zombie, can you move over? There we go. And we got him in here. Go. Our mobs are getting a little bit stuck at the door. But yes, let's just close this up again. We'll clear out this area so it's only him. And we'll see if we can get him to pick up stuff. He doesn't seem to be holding anything in his hands at the moment, so... Let's see if I toss him these gold paints. Will he pick those up? Nope, doesn't look like it. So unfortunately, he's no use to us. But yeah, again, this is just going to be the process for a bit. We're already just sitting around waiting for these mobs to spawn anyway so we can take them out. So taking a bit of time to make sure we get one that holds an item so we don't have to worry about them too much isn't too bad. Except for when you have to deal with these witches. Why are they so strong? I know, it's because they heal themselves, but still. Come on, everything else is easy to kill. You have to just... You're wasting all my durability of my sword. Come on. Okay, you. If I tossed you some gold pants, will you pick those up? Someone picked them up. It's never the zombie I want to pick them up. We got a sheep. We got 2 sheep? We got 2 sheep. We're making progress. I should probably go move those guys before they eat all my grass. Let's get a boat. And we do gotta be careful about wolves. If we get wolves spawn, they will kill our sheep. So maybe we make some fences. And we fence in these sheep so that they aren't accidentally taken out. Hi guys. How you doing? You blend in so nicely with this area. Let me get some wheat. I should have thought about that beforehand. I also should probably protect this iron sword. We probably will need that in the future. But, I mean, we could sleep, I suppose, but I wanted some wheat. So we can maybe lure these guys off the platform before they eat too much of my grass. Hi. Here's your buddy. There's your buddy. Hi. I did not think this through. Yeah, wheat, go away. Hold on. We'll put you guys over here, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Something like this. We're just going to cage them in just a little bit. Because if they are wandering around, they're going to be considered towards the mob camp. But if I put them in boats, they actually release the mob camp and allow more mobs to spawn. So if I can just get like a small area, we can lure them in here. Can I lure you guys a bit closer? Cool. Perfect. And then here's my boat. Can I convince you both to get into this boat? Both of you. Can I give it a nudge? Come on. I know you want to be in the boat. You probably don't want to be in the boat, but I want you to be in the boat. Put you a little bit further in. And then, of course, I just don't have enough. Of course, I'm one block shy. Can you, little sheep, can you? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Perfect. Now we just need to get one more fence. Suppose I could use the gate we had. That'll allow me to actually go in and out. But you can see now if I hit tab, our mob cap is still at 10. Or at 0 out of 10, even though we have these 2 sheep now. So by doing that, it allows us to get more and more mobs. And then we're going to have to end up expanding this platform a little bit. Just so we have enough space to house them all. Again, I want to keep these guys safe because I think wolves can spawn here. And we don't really want them taking out our sheep. So we'll keep those guys safe. And then hopefully we start getting other animals. But that's good. That's good to know that we actually got that working. And we don't have to worry about the fiasco of me building in the wrong biome again. So let's toss some of this stuff. We don't need all of it. We'll keep the feather, I guess. I don't know if we really need it for the time being. But it's probably good for me to have these things just in case. Oh yeah, the dude out. It's so easy to get distracted in Skyblock, but let's see if we can lure this guy over. Oh, there's 2 of them. Let me get my axe. It'll save us so much time. I don't use the axe for cutting down trees, but I use it for killing the mobs, you know? Let's see. Oh, he picked them up. Of course, it's the zombies I don't need that picks everything up. Always. Nope, doesn't look like it. Like I said, this is always the issue. Is we don't really need them to be able to hold items to cure them, but it's always nice when you just have a zombie that you know is not going to despawn on you. Say the unforeseen happens and you get the witch accidentally kills you with the poison throw. The last thing you want is to be spawned far away from where your mobs are, and they just accidentally just disappear on you. So I like to get zombies that can hold items, which again is probably more hassle than it's worth, but I think it's worth it just so I don't have to worry about them despawning on me at any point during the curing process. And again, we're spending a lot of time waiting here anyway, so it's not too much of a hassle, but we see it. There's some chickens over there. Let's go take care of them. Hi guys, can I lure some of you over here? Hi. I have a nice boat for you to get in. First 2 of you who get into the boat get to be alive. There we go. Now, unfortunately for you guys, everyone, you might want to look away for a bit. Yeah, we have a little bit of chicken now on the menu, but again, we're back down to our... Ooh, we actually have more. Are they not considered trapped? Interesting. I don't know what that is. Okay, maybe it's just taking time to count down. That's fine. If that's the issue, we can deal with that. Better, I need to be concerned that some of the stuff is spawning elsewhere, which it shouldn't be, but... So let's see. We have our wheat. We can stuff our chicken in there. And we got another iron ingot, which is perfect. And now we go back to our mob grinder. I'm sure someone out there in the comments is ready to write a long message saying, well, instead of waiting for these zombies to drop iron, why don't you smelt down all of these extra pieces of armor you've been getting? That would give you the iron that you need to make you everything you need. And I would honestly love to do that, but I don't have access to a furnace at all. We started with just a single tree. There's no lava on this map, so we can't even make a cobblestone generator. And sure, once we have lava, we can make a furnace and smelt down these extra bits of armor. But for the time being, this is the only way for us to get iron. Same thing with food. I keep eating rotten flesh mostly because we just have so much of it. And I'm sure someone is thinking that we have some sheep that would make a better food source. But again, I don't have access to a furnace. I can't make a smoker. I can't even make a campfire to cook stuff on. Now, I could make bread. That would be a better source of food than those rotten flesh. But our crops don't grow that fast since they aren't hydrated. So while we could do that, I'm still just going to stick with the free available food we have of rotten flesh. And yeah, maybe occasionally we'll eat a carrot or a potato or two, but I'm not going to be too concerned with what I eat until I actually have to do some actual fighting. Because right now the mobs are trapped in there. They're not much of a threat unless I accidentally release them like I did before. But yeah, we should be fine with how we are right now. So just wanted to point that out in case some people are seeing this extra armor sitting in my inventory being like, that's your easy way to get this stuff. It's like, no, we can't. I would love to, but this is the only way. And we're so close. We already have the cauldron. It's sitting right over there. We have 2 for our bucket. We just need to get 1 more and we'll have our bucket, and then we just gotta wait on it raining. It still hasn't rained since I put the cauldron down.
But yeah, it's going to be a bit. The mod does warn us that we may need to AFK to get things to happen, but I'm going to save you guys the trouble and skip ahead to the interesting bits so you don't need to worry about it, unless of course you're playing the mod along with me. Editing the Manny here. Apparently I had way too much fun recording this and have a ton of footage, but I'm not going to make you sit through a 2-hour-long episode, so we're kind of here for today. But thank you all for watching, I appreciate it, and I hope to see you all in the next video.